Para pa pa para pa pa para pa para pa pa para pa pa para pa para pa pa para pa 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 para pa pa para pa 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 pa. Hey everybody, welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. How you like my new theme song, my new intro song? That's called Para pa pa para pa pa para pa para pa pa para pa pa para pa. It's not going to really go on the 45 too well. We'll have to do like probably really small font, or we'll just get a barcode, one of those QR codes. You can scan it and, tell people, hey, have you heard that song? That new song? It's really great. What's the name of it? It's something like ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, but I'm not really sure. It might not be that, but here's the QR code. So scan it. It doesn't really fit on the 45, and or the CD. Why don't I just date myself at the beginning of every podcast? Why don't I just let everybody know that I'm 82? Right from the start. Hey everybody, Dave Canyon here. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. I am in. It is a dumbcast, in a carcast, in a podcast, and the subtitle to the show is Pragmatism, Truth, Happiness, and the Search for It All. We're going to try to dumb it down. We are going to try to look for some truth and maybe some happiness in somewhere in all of this, and enjoy the journey of the search for it all. I am Dave Canyon, your pragmatic podcaster. We talk a lot about pragmatism and being pragmatic. At least that's what we're supposed to be doing. I might have forgotten that. It's been pointed out to me by some new friends / acquaintances / associates / oh, Dave, you can't say / anymore. You have to say adjoining. They're adjoining. They adjoin me. I don't know what that means, but it's probably one of the 1,000 words you can't say anymore. You can't say /. It's violent. But even if it's like an exclamation point type of thing, exclamation point. No, don't accentuate any of the whatever those things are called over the other ones. So they're all the same. Question mark, exclamation point, asterisk, divide, plus, minus, ampersand. Please do not indicate that you prefer one over the other. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, how about if I just do run-on sentences? Yes, that's the new way to go. Do run-on sentences. No commas, no periods. Do not give any preferential treatment to the main when you do a paragraph, the first line is the main idea of the sentence of the paragraph. No, there's no more main idea. They're all main ideas. No, there's not main ideas. They all are just ideas. Anyway, I'm sure there's a point to all of this, or I'm sure there is no point to all of this. It's one or the other. So anyway, so pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. I'm kind of in a mastermind group in a way, and what does that mean? Like pregnant in a way? I'm pregnant. I'm in a mastermind. And apparently my artwork, my cover art, and my title does not indicate what the show is all about. It doesn't indicate any dumbing it down. There's no where does it say dumbing it down? Well, it's in the title, Dumbing It Down with Dave. But I'm open-minded to the possibilities. I'm curious what you think. Of course, I love the alliteration of it. Or is it alliteration? Is it literation or alliteration? Any good podcaster with a high school degree, which is what I have, at least I think I have it. I haven't checked lately. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I'm not a high school graduate. Maybe I'm a high school. Maybe I'm AWOL. Maybe I'm supposed to be in homeroom right now. PM homeroom, ready to go home. I would love to be a 59-year-old high school student. That would be great. Oh, it'd be fantastic. I would do well in all my classes. I think I went to high school too early. That's what I think. I think I went to all my schools too early. I think I should have lived life for 20 years. I think that's what everybody should do. Live life. Go out there and live life. And then when you're like 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, that's a good time to go to school. Go to kindergarten. And when you're 18, how much fun would that be? Painting rocks, macaroni artwork or whatever. I don't know what you do. Preschool. I think we have it all wrong. You should not be going to school the first 18 years of your life. You should just have life. and then take all that life that you've lived and then go to school when you're 18 or 19. I'm telling you, I'd love to write a book or a movie where there was an alternate universe, and this is how they lived. You know, one of these days when Dumbing It Down with Dave becomes the show I want it to be, and I can do the podcasts I want to do, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to try to find people who are insightful enough and bright enough and intelligent enough, creative enough, and think out of the box enough to think, what kind of a world would we live in if in the first 18 years of your life you didn't do all that, you know, these scholastic things. You talked. I mean, you could read and write. Your parents could teach you the basics, right? You can learn the basics. But there's no school pressure, right? There's no getting beat up. There's no lunchroom politics. There's no gym. There's no awkward moments where, you know, the meat gazer for the guys who's in the shower next to you, although I never showered in any of my classes, but for some reason in movies, the kids always seem to be showering. How do you have time for showering? I got 5 minutes to my next class. I got to walk through all these halls. But, you know, the meat gazers will look at you, and they won't be looking at you like, oh, my God, I'm bigger than him, I'm smaller, whatever. You don't have to worry about being overweight and underweight. You don't have to worry about your braces. No more braces. No more making excuses why the homework with the dog and the vacation. You just live life. And then when you're 18, September of your 18th year, September, you go to school. That's your first year of school. That's what I'm proposing. That's my idea. And if it's not an idea for reality, I think it's a great idea for a book or a movie. How we change the world. Why not? If anybody want to write this with me? You're going to be doing most of the writing. I just came up with a great idea. All right. So anyway, of course, you know, I'm 10 minutes into the show. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Dumbing Down with Dave, mostly questions. Not so much answers, mostly questions. Why not? Let's dumb it down. But so I dumbed down that idea. Yeah, so now I don't know where we're at. I'm in the car. I'm in the caravan. I'm on the New York State Thruway. I'm heading home. It is January 6th. Some people say, now I remember about my podcast art. You know, some people, so January 6th, some people say, don't give dates. Your podcast should be evergreen. I don't care. I want people to know when they listen to the show, and they will, it'll be the number one show posthumously. What? Posthumously. What am I having for dinner today? Pescetti. Posthumously. Yeah, whatever. After I die, this show will be the number one show in 2045. Mark my words. This show will one day be at the top of the pile of 2 million, at that point 5 million podcasts. Because pragmatism will be the new procrastination. I don't know. Pragmatism will rise to the top. And I will be at the forefront. They'll say, I'll be like, what's his name? Tesla. Or the other guy, Marconi. Yeah, back in the day, this guy, Dave, he was talking about pragmatism when nobody else was. Everybody else was bells and whistles. Bells and whistles. Speaker of the House, Clinton, Trump, Bush, Clinton, Trump, Bush. But one guy did a show. Oh, it was great. I mean, it wasn't great. Nobody listened to it. But after he died, you know, it was just one thing. Finally, after he died, his success came very fast. Nobody dead had more success than him. Not even Jimi Hendrix. I'm watching these deer. 4 or 5 deer. They're looking across the road. Oh, no, they're going back. Wow, that would have been disastrous. All right. Wow, that was scary. I am on the New York State Thruway, folks. I-87 between Albany and my hometown. And sometimes I give live reports. Sometimes there's a state trooper pulling over somebody. Sometimes it's an accident. In this case, there were 4 deer, and they had their heads stretched out, their necks stretched out, like, we're going to go. We're going. Are you ready? Well, I'll go. If you go, I'll go. I'll go if you go. No, you go first. I'll go. Listen, we're deer. If you go, I'm right behind you. And then I guess one of them got scared and turned around, and they all said, no, let's forget it. It's always tomorrow. Come back tomorrow in the morning when it's not as crowded. So, yeah, pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. It's not in the cover art. You don't know. You don't know by looking at the cover art that I'm going to talk about pragmatism, to be pragmatic and all that. So we're going to try to focus on it in 2023 a little bit more. We're going to talk about it more. We're going to focus on it more. And then I'll go on another podcation for 17 months. What do you think about that? Anyway, you like the theme music, the intro? That is, from a song I did. I think it was like Higher and Higher, we called it. There's actually lyrics to that song, I think. I don't know. I remember when we would rehearse it, we were in a small room in a mobile home in St. Louis, Missouri, and we had no PA system. And this lead singer, who was like 6 foot something, with a nice head of blonde hair, I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear anything he said. I didn't even know the song had lyrics. We were just playing. I was just playing. Next thing you know, he's got the microphone and he's screaming it like higher and higher. Those were the words. Higher and higher. So when I go ba 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 ba, he was at some point saying something, and then he would go higher and higher, and I'm like, higher and higher with what? What was the other words? I never heard. I don't know what he was saying, but we rehearsed that song quite a few times, and it's the only song out of all the songs I ever did with any of my band work, anything I've ever done. That's the only one I remember. We actually have it on. I had it on video somewhere. If I ever find it, it'll be great to have. I was the drummer in the band, by the way. Yeah, so what are we dumbing down today? Boy, you know what? First of all, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 307. I really do appreciate it. I am basically doing the same thing I've done years ago, 17 months ago, before I took my last podcation. I'm hitting the button, I'm winging it, and then 30 minutes later, if I don't go late, I hit the button and I publish it. I host it on Spreaker, but I'm still usually dissatisfied with my shows. But I'm in this mastermind group, and maybe things will get better. Right now, I just learned something. Last night, I learned something. Yeah, my podcast art does not indicate what the show's about. This looks like an old, middle-aged white guy sitting there at a table, although he's in the middle of the road. As the truck driver, I thought that'd be interesting to have a road. There's a traffic sign behind me. If you look at the artwork on my over my right-hand shoulder, there's a sign, and the sign doesn't say exit or enter. It doesn't say the name of the highway or the freeway. It says Dumbing It Down with Dave. I thought that was a good idea. I like that. I wasn't into the picture next to it with the brain, with the red line through it. I wasn't into that, but I kept this because I knew that I had to listen to other people. Listen to other people. Don't be so steadfast in your ideas. Let other people contribute. Maybe you'll have a winning idea. But I've never been crazy about that sign. Anyway, but it is, with the red line through it. So it's like a picture of a brain with a red line through it. I get it. No brains. I get it. So, and then it says donewithdave.com. That doesn't indicate anything. Nothing indicates what the show's about. So what is pragmatism? What is being pragmatic? Well, all I know is that I don't know. I don't know for sure. But Dave, aren't you the guy? You're the guy. Yeah, I'm the guy, but I'm the guy who's willing to admit I don't know anything. That would be mostly pragmatic of me. I don't know. Pragmatism is what you make out of it. I don't like bells and whistles. I get an iPhone. I don't get an iPhone with widgets and gidgets. Gidgets. No Sally Field. It's not just no bells and whistles. It's just looking at things in a certain way. And maybe using that way to help you get to some sort of answer. For instance, this whole Speaker of the House thing. It's interesting. For those of you who remember 2023, where Nancy Pelosi was removed, or she quit, or however it worked, she lost the election, she didn't run, I don't remember, or the Republicans took the House of Representatives, whatever that is. Doesn't sound as delicious as the International House of Pancakes, or Waddle House if you live down south, but the House of Representatives is in fact a thing. I don't know what that thing is, but it's a thing. There's a lot of guys and women that work there. They do something, they show up, they adjourn, they meet, they resume. I don't know what they do. There's gavels involved. Somebody's knocking a gavel, somebody's talking to the president, making a speech, they're crying. Whatever, it's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know what goes on at the House of Representatives. But anyway, so now they're trying to do this I think it's Senator McCarthy. He wants to be Speaker, the majority Speaker, something like that, of the Republicans. But there's a whole bunch of people that don't want that, and they have all different reasons. Some of them are good. Some of them are like, I don't care. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I'm hearing people talk about it on both sides of this guy, McCarthy. I think that's his name. And it's interesting. And the vote, there's people who are frustrated because, we're up to the 11th vote or the whatever, and it's appearing to be a circus, some sort of circus, because the Republicans have the House of Representatives. They have the most people, and, they're going to vote their majority speaker or whatever they call it. And I've seen that, it's a circus. Like, when is this going to end? When are they going to figure this out? It's only been 2 days, 3 days maybe at this point. January 6th, it might be 3 days. But I heard one of the Fox commentators say, excuse me, this is my first yawn. Yeah, it's only been 3 days. But he also said, but it's not a circus. It's not out of control. You know what it is? It's democracy. It's democracy working. Yeah, I agree. You might not like it, but it's better than some sort of violent coup or some sort of, weapons duel of some sort. Duel? It is peaceful. It is a lot of negotiating. And then there's going to be a vote. And this is the way it works. This is, in fact, democracy. So for the longest time, I think I've been hearing on the news, of course, that Republicans are against democracy. Democracy was disappearing and it was going away. But no, I think it's alive and well, and it's all about voting for the majority speaker or whatever he's going to be or she is going to be for the House of Representatives. That's what I think. Okay, so anyway, was there a point to all of that? Well, I was talking about pragmatism. So that's kind of like an example of pragmatism. If you're pragmatic, you're going, no, it's not a circus. I mean, the process itself might not be pragmatic. But looking at it, being able to look at it and go, wait a minute, this is not a duel of any sort. Nobody's like really losing. It's not like I don't know if that was a good example. But you know what I mean? It's voting. It's what we're doing. They're voting. They're running. They're campaigning. They're voting. And that's democracy. And that's how I look at it. If it takes 2 weeks, it takes 2 weeks. It's frustrating. But you want it to be quicker, or you want people to get to work, which is the most important thing. We need people to get to work, especially here in 2023. We need people to get to work. So in this particular case, my pragmatism leads me to believe that this is democracy, that it's not a circus. I'm not going to do bells and whistles of my emotions or get caught up in other people's emotions because they're not happy with the process. But the process is, in fact, democracy. And as long as the process, if it takes a week, 2 weeks, a month, as long as it's still democracy in action, I mean, will it be frustrating? Of course it'll be frustrating, It's like, being engaged for 5 years. Most people get engaged for, like a year or whatever, then you get married. Is that pragmatic? I don't know. But, being engaged for 5 years, that's a long engagement. You're trying to find out some stuff. And then you get married after 5 years? Well, whatever, But this election, as long as it's peaceful, this negotiation, I'm okay with that. All right, that's 3 yawns. Yeah, I took a break. I figured I'll drink a little water with apple cider vinegar and I'll wake up. But no, I've had a rough week, man. It's been a lot of driving, a lot of early morning stuff and cold weather and just stuff I didn't know before. I learned some stuff. Anyway, so there's that. I'm fine. My pragmatism leads me to believe it's fine. It's taking a long time to vote. All right, I'll give you another example. I mean, it's not, like I said, that's not exactly pragmatism, and it's different for everybody. And You decide what you like. I don't see how I can make a definitive rule or a set of rules for pragmatism. I just don't see it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'll give you an example. Here's an example, I think, of pragmatism. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this, but that's okay. So the other day, a football player in the NFL almost died on the field. He didn't get really hit hard. I don't think he hit this other guy very hard. I mean, not like it wasn't soft, but as far as football goes, it wasn't like a midfield collision. It was like a tackle, a defensive back. He made a tackle. Off the top of my head, I forget his name. So I'm not going to butcher it, but I know there's the letter D and the letter A in there somewhere. All right. So, you know what I got to do? I got to go get some. I'm going to go get some food from this place over here. Keep me going. I need a Diet Max. I'm drowsy. Wow, tired. I don't know, tell you folks, I had a long week and a long day today. So he makes it. He's a defensive back. He makes a tackle. He tackles the guy with the ball. He's on the ground. The guy with the ball's on the ground. He gets up pretty quickly, kind of claps his hand, once, like, yeah, I did it. I tackled the guy, and, I'm ready for the next play. Well, he gets up, and before you know it, he falls down. He falls down, and I guess he had a heart attack or a stroke, or he had something. And he went down. And then they had to resuscitate him. Apparently he had cardiac arrest, which I think is another word for heart attack, or something like that. So he's on his back. He's on the field. The doctors are in attendance. The team doctors. Because some of the players they took off some of the uniform and they started praying. I didn't see it live. I'm just kind of sharing with you what short little things I know. But the point of bringing this up is that they eventually did cancel the game. In fact, first they postponed it, but now it's been canceled. It's absolutely canceled. It's done. They'll never play that game again. And I got to tell you, I have some opinion of that game. And I'm going to share that with you. But first, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go inside, get something to wake me up, and then I'll come back out. All right, so here I am. I'm back. Did you miss me? I was gone for a split second. I went inside the store off the New York State Thruway here in Catskill, New York. Got myself what used to be called the Diet Max. They don't call them Diet Maxes no more. They just call them sugar-free Pepsi, I guess. And I got a disgusting Tabasco-flavored Slim Jim. So I think I'm a little bit more sustained at this point. So I'll be able to finish off the last 7 minutes. So this football player makes the tackle. It didn't seem like it was like a especially hard hit, or like he got hit, or he did the hitting. Seems like an everyday regular tackle. Is there such a thing? Like they say, no, there's no such thing as a routine surgery. Once you're under the anesthesia, and once we cut, your life is at risk, no matter what the surgery is. So is every tackle a potential deadly tackle, or is every hit a potential deadly hit? I guess so. I don't really follow football anymore. I had a couple of weeks ago where I spent a Sunday flipping back and forth between the Jets and the Giants, and it reminded me what a horrible life I used to have watching football on Sundays when your teams lose, and then at the end of the day, it's 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever it is, and you're like, oh my God, my life sucks. What a horrible day, and I'm depressed, and at some point, I had to separate myself from football. Was like one of my original depleters. The NFL, they depleted me. All right, Dave. Well, you could have picked any team other than the Jets and the Giants for the longest time. Yeah, the Giants did end up being pretty good, for here and there, this and that. And the Jets, no. But, no, I just gave up pretty much all sports. I think soccer was like the last holdout. I still enjoy soccer. I can pick any game in the world. I have no idea who's who and what's what. But I do like the beauty of the game, the art of the game. Anyway, and the whole international aspect of it, and the travel, and the fans, and England, and Mexico and Guatemala, wherever they were, Argentina, Chile. I like all those crazy teams all over the world. A lot of fun. All right. So he makes the tackle. He gets up. He's on the ground. He gets up. This 24-year-old kid, I think, Damar. His name is Damar, I think. And he gets up. He's on his 2 feet. Everything is normal. They're breaking up the play. They're getting the ball back to the refs. Offense is going back to their side. Defense is going back to their side. He gets up. I think he claps his hands, or he cusps them. He's like, I'm ready. I made the tackle, and apparently he's really good. He's a really good player, and apparently a really, really good individual in his regular life. Very charitable, whatever. He's a leader. He's going to be something one day. Maybe not in the NFL, I don't know, but in his regular life, he's going to be something. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. He's 24, supposedly. He gets up, he's standing there, and then he collapses, falls on his back. Cardiac arrest, or something, whatever they're calling it. I haven't really read the articles. I saw a little YouTube video, and I hear them talking about it. I don't memorize what they said, but he's down on the ground. Next thing you know, they're administering CPR, trying to resuscitate him. I don't know how successful they were, but I know he's alive. I guess they were successful, but they brought him back. I don't know if he was conscious, he could talk, but from what I understand, he's in a coma, or they put him in a coma, or he went into a coma, or whatever it is, so his brain and his body can rest, which seems like a very strange prescription. Hey, Dave, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you in a coma. Remember that sleep study you did, Dave? You hated it. Every time you did 2 sleep studies, and they were the worst, you couldn't get any sleep. Yes. This one you're going to love. Really? Yeah, we put you in a coma. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, you might wake up tomorrow, next month, or in the 27th century. Wow. Well, okay. I hope my insurance is good in the year 2700. Okay, anyway, so he's down, and now he's in a hospital. He's apparently making some sort of recovery, but they canceled the game. I think first they were temporarily postponing it, then they canceled. So here's my thing. It's a matter of perspective to me. I'm not married to football. Play the game, don't play the game. I don't care. But I would like to do a much more detailed podcast. I guess I could have gotten to it sooner, but I don't really care. I was having fun today. I hope you're having fun. And if you are, don't forget, Twitter @DumbWithDave, email dumbwithdave@yahoo.com. Here in the chat box, please engage in the chat box. Let me know about all the things I'm talking about, what you feel, how you think, and you agree, disagree, all that good stuff, Facebook, of course, the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. I would love to have conversations there. Maybe I'll start initiating conversations. The Facebook groups are changing. They're doing all these different things. But there's a part of me that feels like, hey, you know what? They should have postponed the game. After he got off the field and everything was all set, I think they should have resumed it. And I'll tell you why. Because my perspective is, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the importance of the football game. There's a lot of people involved. There's thousands of people involved, the employees of the stadium, the attendees. I realize, listen, a guy's life is in the balance. But here's my perspective. People's lives are, I coughed when I said people. People's lives are in the balance all over the world, every minute, every hour of every day, all the time, everywhere. Somewhere there's a child, and I did an episode on children. I only got less than a minute left. Somewhere there's a child getting abused, getting beaten, or doing something, they're doing whatever. There's an animal, a dog, a cat. 4 college students got murdered how long ago? There's military people out there. There's people on the thruway, on the highways dying. All over the world, all the time, every second, every hour, every minute, every day. But yet we go on. It all has to do with proximity. Your relationship proximity, your spiritual proximity, and your distance to where these things take place. So maybe I'll do a part 2. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I just wanted to get this podcast out of the way. Think about that for a second. I'm curious what you think about this football game. Should they have postponed it? Should they have canceled it? Should they have resumed it? Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.